Hi everybody, I'm on a ski lift after hours. They don't open again until morning, and I dropped my phone like this. That was my backup phone. So a little while back, I decided I was going to be the first ever person to ski and snowboard at the same time. And I got a bit carried away while practicing. I snuck in, I thought I could operate the ski lift, and here I am! As wacky as this circumstance is, it kind of reminds me of another wacky circumstance where a small stubby Italian man competed against a hedgehog in long jump. Except unlike them, there's a chance that some hungry wolves try to maul me in this cold winter night. Mario, Sonic, and the Olympic Games go together as well as peanut butter, crackers, and a phone book. But it's like a really tasty phone book. All of your favorite characters come together every once in a while to compete in beloved events like discus, table tennis, figure skating, and even curling. But since I have some time, I'm gonna compare this adaptation to the not annual and I think somewhat beloved games that this series is based off of, the real-life Olympic Games. Believe it or not, the Olympic Games are a real thing that have been going on for over 15 years. I would imagine that at some point, the ancient Greeks knew that the Super Mario was destined to compete and made a silly little event thing to respond. I think the biggest issue with making Mario and Sonic characters go through 6 different Olympic Games mainly comes from how powerful and athletic these characters are. Like, whoa, the cartoon character game isn't going to be 100% accurate to the Olympics? That's crazy! No, I just want to talk about what I think about on these cold, lonely nights that I can't sleep on. And multiple characters in the series run at these high speeds. Mario characters are all capable of ridiculous feats involving strength and durability, like surviving contact with lava and breathing in space. Yeah, it just kind of gets shrugged off. Not to mention, some of these characters shouldn't even be allowed to compete in the iconic Olympic Games. Like, excluding the obvious stuff like only humans being able to compete, there's still a couple robots and skeletons, and I think that's pushing it. I'm pretty sure a few characters would also violate age rules if there were any. Like, Bowser Jr. is presumed to be anywhere between 2 to 12 years old, but I couldn't find anything that, like, specifically prevents him from being in the main games. From what I can tell, the Olympic Games are just fine with whatever. This actually bleeds into the staff and the refs and everyone working in the Olympics. Like, this is Cream the Rabbit, a 6-year-old child who not only competes in the 2016 Rio Olympic Games, but also shoots the blank among other Olympic activities that no small child should be allowed to do or handle, especially in the Olympics. I think Bowser and Eggman especially should be banned for life. In Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games on the DS, they try to steal the Olympic Games. But then 2 years later on Mario and Sonic at the 2012 Olympic Games on the Nintendo 3DS, Bowser and Eggman don't get invited to compete in the Summer Games and respond by shooting rainbow fog across London so the games get cancelled. And then they eventually find out, just like everyone else, that their invites were literally just lost in the mail and there was no conflict that needed to happen. I know this issue is in a lot of the spin-off sport games for both of these franchises where the antagonists and the protagonists all come together and they play like go-karts and parties, and it's not a big deal. But why do Bowser and especially Eggman get to do these silly weekend events with everyone else? Like these characters hate each other. Eggman is literally canonically a terrorist in the Sonic games who is responsible for blowing up the moon, enslaving alien species, and resurrecting eldritch abominations from the core of the planet, yet he's allowed to do gymnastics like everyone else. Which I don't really understand, if I'm being honest. I know this is a game about cereal mascots competing in pole vaulting, but realistically I can't think of a single instance where diplomatic enemies across the world occasionally set aside their differences to compete in numerous popular yet specific athletic competitions. Wait. Also, in most circumstances, most of the cast shouldn't even really be allowed to compete. The Olympics Committee states that only 3 athletes from each country can compete. In most of these games, 20 of the characters are allowed to compete in every single event, which sounds extremely difficult for any athlete to get gold medals or even just attempt every Olympic event, which is why no country or person wants to do it nor has done it, because that would look stupid. You would look stupid. But then some characters are only allowed in some events. For example, Eggman 2 Electric Boogaloo can only fence sometimes, but why is that fair? Why can't he do long jump like regular Eggman? Why can't he do badminton like regular Eggman? That's not cool. Like, Blaze is from another dimension, Silver's from the future, and Donkey Kong is literally just an ape wearing a necktie, but they get to do everything when Eggman 2 can't. That's not fair. But then the real games on the 3DS go, wait, that's not fair, that's not cool, and makes it so only 3 characters per series are in each event. But even then, Mario, Sonic, and the Miis can go to every event. And then I realized that this is a children's game, and limiting the characters in each event is way less fun overall. Because why can't Luigi golf? I know damn well Luigi can golf. Why is this the only time in the games Luigi is restrained? Why can't Luigi go golfing? Why can't Luigi go golfing? Let's talk about dress codes. Every sport on the planet has a set of rules in place for clothing and gear for the protection and performance of their athletes, and the Olympics are no different. But these guys break almost every rule. Examples of clothing prohibited in Olympic events include jewelry, bracelets, accessories, inappropriate shoes, no shoes, and no clothing. Gloves are prohibited in the summer games based on the events and weather, but why does half of the roster wear gloves in swimming events and surfing? Why is that where they draw the line? Then we got the dumb, stupid little things where I kill any suspension of disbelief, like, you can't do that in curling. Literally just all the dream events have at least one silly shenanigan where they would probably violate some safety rules. That's why they're called dream events, because they're not real. And then there's the issue of differing classes. Like boxing, for example, should have 13 separate weight classes, and this is going to happen in the Paris 2024 Olympics. Now, do these three look like they should be in the same weight class? As a matter of fact, because of all the format shenanigans in these scuffed games, I looked at every character playable and determined which is the most accurate to the real Olympics. The only character who breaks no rules in the Olympic Games, from what I could tell, is Toadette, who literally only signed up for hurdles in the Tokyo Olympics in 2020. I have no idea why. It's literally just hurdles, but otherwise she doesn't really violate anything else other than competing in the men's and women's division. By the way, the men's and women's divisions don't really exist in Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games still, but it's fine. This is fake. On the opposite end of the spectrum, there's a lot of potential options for least proper athlete, but I want to talk about Vector the Crocodile, someone who has been in 4 summer games and 2 winter games, has worn headphones and inappropriate shoes for most of it, has 2 of his closest friends participating as referees and working in the games, meaning that there could very easily be bias, and has probably tested positive for doping. And even then, with all these unanswered questions relating to a spin-off party game series available on 4 separate Nintendo consoles, I knew I had to do something. So every year, some Sonic voice actors come together and answer questions fans have about the series while remaining in character. It's called the Sonic Twitter Takeover, and it's always a fun time. And in the hopes of getting at least some sort of answer for anything, I left a question asking why Sonic runs at a normal pace in the Olympic events. And wouldn't you know it, they didn't respond. But that's okay. I think I'm gonna head out for now. Join me next time where I talk about something else, like bricks or Sunday comics. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But that's okay. Call me an alligator because I'll be seeing you in a while later. Bye. You know, unrelated, but I've always wondered when and why the camera cuts away. Like, I have no control over this stuff. Usually it just goes to the end screen right now. So I kind of just hope it ends at a funny moment. This isn't normal. Why am I still able